Hello students, today in this video we are going to discuss the topic tissue from the chapter number 2 of class 9th biology. Here we will talk about the tissue. In the previous chapter we had discussed about the cells. As you know, the cells are the basic unit of life, means all the living organisms are made up of cells. Less than the cells, there are no any living structure found in the living organisms. So on the basis of the number of cells, there are two kind of animals, or you can say two kind of organisms. One is unicellular organism and another one is multicellular organism. Unicellular organisms are the organisms which are having only one cell, having only one cell in their body, and the multicellular organisms which are having more than one cell. They have more than one cell in their body, that's why they are multicellular organisms. So if you take the case of the unicellular organism, all the living processes are done by the single cell. But in case of multicellular organisms, the body of the multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. So in this case, in the multicellular organisms, the work are done by the more than one cells in their body. So what happened there? These cells are grouped together for a particular function. This group of cells for the particular functions are known as tissue. When the cells are grouped together in multicellular organism for the particular function, that group of the cells are known as tissue. So you can define the tissue like this: a group of cells that are similar in structure and perform the same function or similar function. Now you can say the tissue are the group of the cells that are similar in structure and perform the same or common function. The microscopic study of tissues and their function is known as histology. The study of tissue is known as histology. Now in this chapter you have to discuss about the plant tissue and animal tissue. Okay, before studying about the plant and animal tissue, you must know what is the difference between plant and animal. As you know, both are living and both are made up of cells, but there are some very prominent difference between the plant and animal. What are these differences? The first difference is plant is stationary, means they cannot move from one place to another place. But here in the case of animal, they move. Animals show movement. Okay, so plants are stationary, they have to be fixed at one place, they have to remain at one place. So their body need strength and support. And because the animals show movement, they have to move from one place to another place for searching of food, water, shelter and mate. They need flexibility in their body. They need flexibility in their body and they need energy. Okay. There is another difference between the plant and animal, that plants show growth throughout the life. Throughout the life. But in case of animals, they show the growth for a limited, or you can say for a certain period of time. Show growth for a certain limit of time. As you know, the growth of animals stop after a certain age. Okay, they don't grow. Like you can take your own example, that your body grow for a certain period of time, at a certain age. After that age, your body doesn't grow. Okay, but in case of plants, they show growth throughout the life. So because they are showing growth throughout the life, so they need the cells which have dividing capacity. They have dividing capacity. Okay, so because of this, the types of tissue in plants and animals are different. So one by one we will discuss about the plant and animal tissue, and in this video we will discuss about the plant's tissue at first. So as I said, the plant's body need strength and support, and they grow throughout their life, so they need the cells which have the capacity to divide throughout the life. So on the basis of the stage of development and dividing capacity, the plant tissue are of two types. The first one is meristematic tissue and the second one is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues are those tissues which have the dividing capacity. And the permanent tissues are those tissues which lose the dividing capacity. Now you can define a meristematic tissue is a group of young cells that have the capacity of active cell division. The group of cells that are having the capacity of active cell division, that tissue are known as meristematic tissue. So now you can think where are they found in the plant's body. So what is the location of the meristematic tissue? You can say they are found in all the growing regions of a plant, such as root tip, shoot tip, etc. Wherever the region of the growth of the plants are present, at that place the meristematic tissue will be found. Now, what are the characteristics of the meristematic tissue? The first characteristic of meristematic tissue is they are composed of living cells. As you know, the non-living cells cannot perform cell division. So, if they are dividing, means of course they will be composed of living cells, and because they have the capacity to divide, so they are very active. The cells of the meristematic tissues are very active because they have to divide throughout their life. Their cell wall is thin. Another characteristic of the meristematic cells of the tissue is that they are thin walled, means their cell wall is thin because they have to divide actively throughout their life. That's why their cell wall is thin. Now they are small in size. Again the reason is the same, because they have to divide again and again. That's why their size is small. Now they are undifferentiated, means they are not differentiated into the specific type of cells. They remain undifferentiated and they can be anything in the future. Next is having dense granular cytoplasm, because they are having the dividing capacity, so their cytoplasm is dense and granular because they have to divide, they have to become active. Next is their nucleus is large, prominent and centrally located, because they have to divide again and again, so the nucleus must be active and large and prominent. As you know, the nucleus is the control system of the cell and it controls the division of the cell. That's why the nucleus of the meristematic cells are very prominent, centrally located and large and very active. Now the next characteristic of the meristematic tissue is that they have compactly arranged cells. The cells found in the meristematic tissue, they are very compactly or means tightly arranged, and they have no intercellular spaces. They are very compactly arranged and there is no intercellular space between the cells. Next is they are capable of dividing indefinitely, because they are meristematic, so they have the ability to divide again and again. So they have a big power of cell division. Lack vacuoles, they do not have vacuoles because they have to divide again and again, and vacuoles can interfere in this activity, so that's why they have no vacuoles. Now they do not store reserve food because they have to divide, they have to perform cell division, so they do not store any reserve food. So these are the characteristic of the meristematic tissue. Now we will discuss about the types of meristematic tissue. According to their position in the plant body, meristems are divided into three types on the basis of their location, means position, where are they found in the plant's body. They are divided into three types. What are these three types? These are apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. Based on the position of the meristem in the plant's body, the meristematic tissue is of three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. As you know, the plant's body grow in two ways. One is in lengthwise and second one is widthwise. Okay, in the first one, the plants grow vertically and they grow in the length, but in the second case they grow in diameter, means their thickness increases. So because of this, there are three types of meristematic tissue found in the plant's body. The first one is apical meristem, and this is the primary meristem. And where are they found? They are found at the growing tips of stem, root and their growing branches. Wherever the plants growing vertically or in the lengthwise, they will be found there. Means at the growing tips of stem and root and their growing branches. And apical meristem is responsible for the primary growth of the plants. Okay, when the plants grow lengthwise, that growth is known as primary growth, and this primary growth is due to apical meristem. Okay, the apical term is taken from the word apex, and apex means tip. Okay, now the second meristematic tissue is lateral meristem. And where are they found? They are found on the sides of the roots and stems. They are found at the sides of the roots and stem, and they are responsible for the increase in girth. They are responsible for the increase in the girth, means they increase the width and thickness of the plant's stem and root. And this kind of growth, the growth in the girth or width or diameter, is known as secondary growth. So you can say that the secondary growth is done by the lateral meristem, or you can say the lateral meristems are responsible for the secondary growth in the plants. Now the third meristem is intercalary meristem. This is the part of apical meristem and gets separated during the growth and found at the base of the leaves or internodes. They are found in the internodes, and that's why they increase the length of the plant's body, plant's parts. Okay, like you can see here in this diagram, if this is a stem, and on the apex, this apex here, the growth of the shoot occur, and this is because of the apical meristem. Okay, because it is present at the apex of the shoot. Now this is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem is present at the base of the leaves or the branches or internodes, and this is responsible to increase the length of the plants, means they help in the elongation of the stem or root of the plants. And the third one is lateral meristem, and this lateral meristem is found at the side of the plants, and they increase the diameter or thickness of the plants. And lateral meristem are always responsible for the secondary growth in the plants. Now we will summarize the topic. Here we were discussing about the tissue. And so what is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells that are similar in structure and perform the same function. Because in the multicellular organisms, the number of cells are more than one, and that's why the cells of that multicellular organism get differentiated and they group together and perform a particular common function, and that group of cells are known as tissue. Okay, the study of the tissue is known as histology. As you know, in this chapter we have to discuss about the plants and animal tissue. So the tissue found in the plants and animals that are different from each other, because plants and animals are very different in their habit and structure and function. That's why plants are stationary, they don't have to move from one place to another, so their body need strength and support, and because they grow all over their life, so they need the dividing cells. But in case of animal, they don't show movement, they show the movement, so they need to have the flexibility and they need energy, efficient amount of energy, and they do not show growth for the throughout the life. They show the growth for limited period of time. At some certain age they grow, after that the growth of the animals become stopped. So because of this reason, the types of tissue are different in plants and animals. After that we had discussed that types of plant tissue are of two types on the basis of the development and dividing capacity. What are these? These are meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. The meristematic tissue that have the dividing capacity for the whole life, and permanent tissue are those tissue which lose the capacity of dividing cell division and they become permanent in the plant's body. Then after we had seen the meristematic tissue is further divided into three types on the basis of the position. Where are they located in the plant's body? The meristematic tissue is of three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. Apical meristem, which are present on the tip of the root and shoot, and they are responsible for the primary growth, means because of this meristem the plants grow in lengthwise. Okay, and the lateral meristem are the meristem which are present on the side of the plant's root and stem, and they are responsible for the secondary growth, means they increase the thickness of the plant's body. Now intercalary meristem is present in the internodes and they are responsible for the elongation of the plant's stem and root. So this is all about this video. We will discuss about the permanent tissue in the next video. Thank you.